Fabi, as we all remember, was quite... Okay, then we also see Christian Paul, the chairman of the board of Investmental.
That was close.
It was a little bit small text, yeah.
Yes,
D4.
I saw that too. D4 in the game of MVL.
MVL will never keep D4.
No, he'll pull that one.
Nah, E4. E4 is the move.
E4 versus, they just automatically draw our eye.
Yeah, the reason why I'm really interested in that particular game between Maxime and Gukesh is that Maxime is a very principled player. He seems to be unafraid of going into territory where other grandmasters have gone, let us analyze that, it's probably a forced draw. He's always trying to look for new ideas there, because I'm seeing a marshal.
Yes, a marshal gambit, which these days people don't really go into, because thanks to the efforts of Mickey Adams and many other top grandmasters, marshal gambit has kind of been considered a draw. A2, A4, D2, D3, followed by the dynamic bishop D2 are the so-called anti-marshal gambits. But like you say, MVL...
He's willing to go into those territories, like we saw him take on the the Berlin endgame against Alireza Firouzja, and he almost got himself in a spot of trouble before he managed to find a great resource to turn the tables around.
Exactly. C7, C6 is what we might call the modern version of the marshal. Frank Marshall, when he dreamt up the marshal gambit, he kept it in his pocket for a number of years before uncorking it against world champion Jose Raul Capablanca. Marshall played the move knight f6 in the original version, and his idea was as straightforward as it appears. He decided, in true Frank Marshall style, just go for the checkmate, blast away. Modern players prefer to keep their knight in the center with the move c7, c6, bring their bishop to d6 and play queen h4. All of this has been played, I dare say, thousands of games, and today this is considered the absolute best play. Bishop to e3, and I think there's actually been a number of games where white has accepted the challenge of capturing the second pawn. Bishop takes d5, and queen takes d5. Bishop e3 takes on e2, queen a5, and we just talked about a minimal advantage in the game of Fabi. For me, this is again one of those very minimalistic approaches that white has. I don't know. Doesn't look. It's tricky. It's tricky.
Lagrave, but both of the teenagers are on the back foot in their games.
Absolutely. Let's jump into the game of Daniel, and it's a big surprise to me. Daniel is a joy to, oops, by the way, I'll interrupt myself
We're going
to say Gukesh.
Yes, and we're going to jump to that game between MVL and Gukesh, as the players have just, you can see there, Maxime has 41 minutes, whereas Gukesh playing on his last minute and the 30-second increment. And, well, we've seen a change in the position.
Big time, just a second. Obviously, all Black needs to do is play F5. Oops.
This is nice. So he's gonna check to drive the white king backwards. So
we intercept that with the bishop.
Yep.
And bishop back to a7. I was about to say what Black needs to do is play f5,
But then he would lose.
takes king e5, bishop d4.
Yeah, so
check.
Gukesh being on seconds, he actually found the only move, rook h3 check. Yeah, rook h3 check was the only move to achieve a draw in his position.
And indeed, the players are making a repetition. We thought coming out of the opening that MVL actually had a nice advantage, but he didn't play the move rook c5, and instead went into an ending which, well,
the
see a draw.
clock has been stopped.
Another c
MVL
for
is
Gukesh.
demonstrating that he's going to be playing bishop a7, and the position will have been repeated 3 times.
Right, but we've seen Gukesh on a number of occasions now, maybe even in a trot. He's been on the back foot, but he's defended each and every time. So he's held the game, and with that draw, he will join Alireza Firouzja a half a point behind our leader. But that leaves us with the game of